Welcome back to FM Storey. We're currently about a third of the way through our third season with Sporting, obviously looking to defend the title. We're currently top of the table in the league, ahead of Porto on goal difference. We're also top of the Champions League phase after 5 games of that stage. And we've also already qualified for the semi-finals of the Allianz Cup as we look to defend that trophy as well. So things are going pretty smoothly. Let's see if that can continue. Before we do get started, if you do enjoy the video, please like, comment, subscribe. Without further ado, let's get going. We ended the last episode at the end of November in a pretty decent position. We were top of the league, we were top of the Champions League phase, and we'd already qualified for the semi-final of the Allianz Cup. And basically, we're now into January, and things have continued in a pretty similar vein. We've now had the draw for the semi-final of the Allianz Cup, and we've managed to avoid the other big team that are left in the competition. Benfica were drawn in the other tie. So we've got Vitoria Guimaraes in the Allianz Cup semi-final, which comes hot on the heels of a game against them in the league. So we've got them back-to-back at the end of January, beginning of February. But generally, the form's been pretty good all the way through December. We started with a 3-1 win with Pacos de Ferreira. We took an early lead. They pulled one back just before half-time, and at that point it was relatively an even game, but we managed to turn it on in the second half. Thiago Thomas picked up a second not long after half-time, and Gabriel Menino added a third 5 minutes before the end, just to make it a bit more comfortable for us. We then went away to Galatasaray in the only Champions League game we've played since the last episode, and got off to a pretty bad start. At that point, it looked like they might overrun us after Timo Pukki opened the score into 4 minutes. But we were back on level terms pretty quickly through Manswerk. And then the game was fairly even until we got into the last 10 minutes or so. Trincao put us in front 6 minutes from the end. And then we got 2 goals in injury time from Ismail Assar and Thiago Thomas, just to really seal the victory and confirm our place at the top of the league phase. It also meant that we are guaranteed to be through to the next round, but hopefully we can pick up some points in the last couple of games and secure that bye past the next round of the competition. We had a 2-week break after the Galatasaray game and returned on Boxing Day against Braga at home. The first half was pretty dire from both teams. Marcos Leonardo put us in front just before the break, but we were able to sort of pull away in the second half with goals from Manswerk and Sebastian Coates, and another comfortable 3-0 victory in us through to the next round. We then returned to league action just before the new year away at Casapia. Didn't put in the best of performances, but ran out with comfortable 3-0 victory. We did rotate the defence slightly. We had a few players that were struggling fitness-wise. Sebastian Coates picked up a couple of goals. Vitoria came in on the second half and added the third just to secure the victory for us. And then we opened up the new year with a home game against Chavez and blew them out of the water in the first half hour. We were 5-0 up after 32 minutes. Goals from Shqiri, Trincao, Sarr and Asio Leonardo really kind of shared it around. Second half, we made a lot of changes at half time and we just didn't push on, as you can kind of see from the XG match story. We kind of didn't really do an awful lot in the second half. I think the Diamande goal in the 89th minute was the first shot we had on target in the second half. But all in all, really comfortable victory. It allowed us to rest some players, which was important because our next game is at home to Benfica, who obviously beat us earlier on in the season. So as far as the league table is concerned, we're now 6 points clear of Porto. Benfica are back in 4th on 24 points, 8 points back. So if we can get a victory over Benfica in this next game, it puts us in a really good position going forward. Porto had a couple of disappointing defeats in recent weeks, which has enabled us to open up that gap on them. But when you look at the sort of player stats, top 2 in the average ratings are Trincao and Diamande, top 2 in assists, Trincao and Rice. We are performing well. We've actually shared the goals around more this season than we did probably last season as well. And as far as the league phase is concerned for the Champions League, we're still top. 16 points from 6 games. We're the only undefeated team still in the competition, but we do have probably two of our toughest games left to end the group phase. We're playing Man City and we're playing Atletico Madrid before the end of January. Hopefully we can pick up something from those two games just to guarantee that we finish in that top 8 and miss the playoff round and just go into the next round of the Champions League. But overall, things are going pretty well in terms of the sort of individual stats. Trincao again, been really good. Second in the average rating only to Erling Haaland, top of the assists. And again, we've shared the goals around pretty much. Being back in January, obviously the transfer window's opened and there are a lot of clubs now coming in for our players. Two in particular that have seen a few offers already and a lot of interest are Sivert Mansverk, who's been playing in that holding midfield role. We've turned down a couple of offers for him from Borussia Dortmund and one from Real Madrid. We've turned down a couple of offers also for Marcus Leonardo, who was most unhappy at us not accepting the offer from Chelsea for him. I think it's probably about time that he did move on, but it's certainly not during the season. Maybe one for the end of the season, but he's now picked up an injury and he's going out for 2 weeks. So hopefully that might cool off some of the interest in January. And hopefully we don't miss him too much in this next game against Benfica. We're going into the Benfica game having made one change with Marcus Leonardo out injured. So Thiago Thomas is coming up front. They have kind of swapped roles this season, so they have kind of been rotated in and out of that number 9 role. The only other player really we're missing is Morita, who tore his calf muscle in the Champions League game against Galatasaray, and he's probably out for another couple of months. Mansverk wins the ball back. Ismail Assar, look at Thiago Thomas, or who our first touch. Out to Ismail Assar, and he's been fouled. Trincao coming across to take the free kick. Look, Diamande at the back post, and the keeper saves it. Trincao with the free kick. Skiri at the back post, and he loops the header over the keeper. Unexpected goal scorer, but he has popped up with a couple of important ones since he's come back into the team. Trincao with the corner this time. Inacio comes back to Trincao, and we've given the ball away. Mansverk. Take a break. No, Menino wins it back, tries forward. I think Thiago Thomas was just a hair offside there. And yeah, it's been disallowed. Trincao with the corner. Diamande at the near post. What a header. And that's us 2-0 up. Great start to the game in this opening half hour. From the corner. Diamande again. Oh, on the roof of the net this time. Mukhtar with a free kick. Headed clear. Otamendi picks it up. Now snares. But no one was tracking Mukhtar. Oh my god. And just Trincao. Menino forces a good save for the keeper. Sar looking for Thiago Thomas. He's through. Oh, what a bad touch. And that's half time. Reasonably decent first half. I'd have to be lying if you said we weren't happy being 2-0 up after half an hour. But conceding that goal just after we scored the second, poor defending, gave them a simpler tap-ins. Hopefully we don't regret the chances because we could easily have been 4 or 5-0 up at half time. Mansverk, back to Sio, Skiri, Mansverk, looking for Trincao. What a touch. Into Thomas. Oh, he's won the ball. Oh! Edwards, can you get the cross in? Trincao. Oh, he's hit the post. Trincao into the box. Oh, what a save. Trincao driving forward. Goes out right and just back into Mansverk. Skiri gives the ball away. we are starting to get very, very loose here. What he's doing, he sold him short. Oh. Trincao wasn't even looking. What are we doing here? Menino, Skiri, look at Thiago Thomas, he's in behind. He took that far too close to the goal line and the angle was far too narrow. Trincao with a free kick. Diamande off the post. Skiri scores. Offside. Surely not. There's about 3 of them on the line. And it's been given. Nuno Santos with a free kick. We've brought some fresh legs on to try and see the game out. Diamande. Oh, this one goes wide. They've got a free kick. We were all over the place then. Keeper was in no man's land. Luckily it goes wide. Skiri. Menino. Well, that's got to be a red card for Ibanez. It is. Right, Nuno Santos with a free kick deep into injury time. And Vitoria got up and headed it over. Decent performance. 3-1 victory. We were after they got their goal back when it was 2-1 just before and just after half time. We looked a bit jittery, but Skiri's second goal, which put us back 2 goals clear, calmed us down, and in the end, deserved victory and really good in terms of the chase for the title. We're at the end of January and it's halfway through the league season, and things have largely continued in the same vein as when we left off after the game against Benfica. We have had a couple of disappointing performances in the Taça de Portugal and in the Champions League phase, the last game of that, but overall performances have still been good, the results have still been pretty good, and we're still in a good position. So after the game against Benfica, we went away to Penafiel. Thiago Thomas had an outstanding day. He ended up with 4 goals. He spent the first half up front, and in the second half he played from the right hand side. Trincao added another one. It was a really comfortable performance. We weren't really under any threat at all. We dominated the ball and came away with a great 5-0 victory away from home. We then went away to Rio Ave in the Taça de Portugal, and with a couple of big games coming up in the Champions League, we rotated the team a bit and ultimately ended up paying the price for it. We did get off to a pretty good start with Vitoria opening the scoring, but we were 2-1 down by the time half-time came around and really didn't do anything in the second half to really get ourselves back into the game. And you have to say Rio Ave deserved the victory, and that's the end of the Taça de Portugal for another season. We were then at home to Atletico Madrid, and for about the first hour of the game, it was a really dull game. We had a few chances, but didn't really make the most of them. And ultimately, we defended well. We struggled a bit up front, and it required Vitoria coming off the bench to get the only goal of the game, which put us in a really good position going into the last game of the league phase. We were already qualified. We were already guaranteed to go straight through to the round of 16, no matter what happened on that last day of the league phase. So overall, really decent performance against a tough team. We then went straight into a home game against Ferenc in the league and got off to a really good start. We were 2-0 up after 17 minutes. Marcus Edwards had a really good game. He struggled to get into the team this season, but he really did sort of turn it on with an early goal. Trincao picked up a goal and an assist, as did Thiago Thomas, and we were 3-0 up at half time. We did take the opportunity to rest some players in the second half and ended up coming away with a 3-0 victory. We then went away to Man City in the last game of the league phase of the Champions League, and it was a pretty wild first half hour. Really a pretty wild first half. So Erling Haaland opened the scoring early on, and at that point you kind of think we're in a bit of trouble. We then equalised through Trincao, and then quickly went ahead through Vitoria. They equalised. Phil Foden scoring when a defender cleared it off him into the back of the net. They quickly went back in front when a cross looped up for Erling Haaland to nod home, and then Calvin Phillips was sent off for a wild lunge on the 39th minute. So all of that in the first 39 minutes. We were 3-2 down. We tried to push on a bit in the second half, but really didn't create any chances, and paid the penalty on the counter attack with Erling Haaland getting his hat trick. Unfortunately, we just ran into one of the best players in the world on a good day, but we were still able to finish in a high enough position up in that league phase, and this is the only game we've lost in the Champions League this season. So all in all, a decent league phase, and now we just got to look forward to the knockout phase, starting with the round of 16. And then the most recent league game, we went away to Vitoria Guimaraes, who were about to play again in the semi-final of the Allianz Cup. Really, the first half, next to nothing happened. We controlled a lot of the ball, but didn't really have an awful lot of chances. We managed to take the lead when Shaqiri scored early on in the second half, and we had another couple of chances to double the lead after that, but didn't really take them. They never really threatened us, so hopefully we can put in a bit of a better performance and get a more comfortable result in the semi-final of the Allianz Cup. We are at the halfway point. Some of the teams have played an extra game, but all the teams at the top have only played 17. We're still 6 points clear of Porto. We've got a 12-goal better goal difference as well, which is looking promising. We've had some really outstanding performances in the league this season through Thiago Tomas, Diamande, Trincao. So we're in a comfortable position. The next league game we've got scheduled is against Porto, but there's a chance if we get through to the final of the Allianz Cup that one will get moved, because that's what happened last season when we got to the final of the Allianz Cup. And as far as the league phase of the Champions League campaign is concerned, we ended up finishing third, 2 points behind Real Madrid and Arsenal, level on points with Man City. Really a decent start to the season. I mean, when you look at Erling Haaland's got 11 goals in those 8 games, averaging 8.88. We obviously just ran into a juggernaut in that last game of the league phase, but hopefully we can get a decent draw in the round of 16 and then push on in the competition from there. Going into the semi-final, obviously it's on a neutral venue, so hopefully we can put in a decent performance. They do have one of our centre forwards on loan in Rodrigo Ribeiro, so hopefully we can keep him quiet. Obviously, one of the criteria for the Allianz Cup is you've got to have 2 under-21 Portugal players playing. We've got Goncalo Esteves starting at right back, and we've got Yusuf Chamiti starting through the middle. Obviously, we don't have to have them on at all times, so we do have plenty of firepower on the bench in Marcus Edwards, Max Leonardo, Thiago Tomas. So hopefully we don't need too much of that and we can put in a decent performance, but let's get going. Right, Rice with a throw in to Manu. Goncalo Esteves to Menino. And there's Ismail Assar at the back post. And we've taken the lead. It's his 10th of the season. When he's not been injured, he's been really outstanding on that left-hand side. Came out to Goncalo Esteves, who pulled it back to the edge of the area to Menino. I don't know whether that was a shot or a pass, but it picked out Sarr perfectly at the back post and he beat the keeper. Oh my. And he got caught out by our own player there. Right, got a head on it. Can we get the loose ball? Yeah, Ismail Sarr is giving it away though. And giving away a free kick. Oh my god. How have we allowed them to score that? Stupid foul. Schmidt nods it on, but there's no one there. Get your head on it. Right. Shaqiri. Manu Silva looking for Ismail Assar. Lovely ball. Slightly dodgy first touch, but a lovely finish. Skiri into Diamande, onto Manu Silva, who turns, plays it in behind that right centre back. Assar takes a touch, and I think the defender got in the keeper's way. A bit happier now that we've gone back in front. The injury to Menino could be a big kind of concern, and I think we might have to take Manswerk off. He looks like he's struggling a bit. We just need to not do anything stupid in the second half now. Diamande's header. Rice keeps it in. Inacio, Marcus Edwards in acres of space, running with the ball. Onto Skiri, into Sarr. Oh, and he's pulled it wide. I don't know whether he was actually pulling it back or whether he was trying to cross there. Rice down the left hand side gives the ball away. We've got very sloppy here. Ismail Sarr wins it back. Back to Coates, who's come on for Inacio. Diamande into Skiri. Trincao looking for Max Leonardo, and he loses out. Rice wins it back. No. You can see that coming a mile away. As soon as we gave the ball away. Coates, just what was he doing? Eerie, out to Sarr. Looked to Leonardo, but it was cut out. You bring experienced club captain on, and the defence goes to the pot. But then they had 3 shots to target, scored all 3, and we should have taken more chances. Absolutely, probably our worst performance of the season. And so ends the defence of the Allianz Cup. And that's the end of this episode. Unfortunately, ending on a bit of a low light, losing that semi-final in such a way. We need to get straight back on it though, because the next league game is at home to Porto, and if we can win that, surely that almost guarantees us the title. We're already 6 points clear. If we can go 9 points clear of them, although there's still going to be 16 games left, we should be able to hold on to that. The only trouble is we're now going into that game without Menino, without St. Just, without Marita, who were all injured, and with a team who bottled a semi-final. So hopefully things can improve next time. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you then.